The Missing Stars, Why Are Galaxies Disappearing? A Video to Fall Asleep To. Part 1. A Light That Fades. Good evening, dear listener. You've found your place, still, quiet, ready to let your thoughts drift. Tonight, we leave behind the familiar skies above our heads and travel to the edges of the universe. Not to look at what's there, but to notice what's missing, because lately astronomers have begun to ask a strange question. Where did the galaxies go? In old maps of space, photographed decades ago, they saw hundreds of galaxies, bright, distant, dancing in the deep. But now when they look again, some are gone. Not faded, not moved, just vanished, like lights turned off in a part of the sky that once sparkled. These aren't nearby stars flickering. They're entire galaxies, billions of stars, invisible now, and no one knows why. It's not a mistake. The images are real. The data checks out. So what could cause something so vast to disappear? Is it cosmic dust? Is it illusion? Or is something even stranger happening? Something the universe hasn't told us yet. Tonight, as you sink into sleep, let's float toward those empty spaces, not with fear, but with wonder. Because in the silence of what's missing, there might be a message, one only the stars, or their absence, can share. Part 2. When the Sky Forgets. Welcome back. You're drifting now, held in the quiet dark, moving softly through the folds of space. Let's stay with the mystery. Imagine staring up at the night sky, and the stars you knew, the ones that always watched, are simply gone. No explosions, no trails, no goodbye, just silence. Where once there was light. Some scientists call it transient disappearance. Galaxies recorded in the past that no longer shine, as if the sky had forgotten them. But galaxies don't just disappear, not in our understanding of physics. They take billions of years to change. So how could this happen? Is it a trick of light? A lens not focused? A veil of dust across the cosmos? Maybe, but maybe not. Some wonder, could they have slipped through something? A cosmic fold? A crack between dimensions? What if space itself is shifting, sliding like ice flows across a dark sea, and every now and then, one patch of stars falls out of view, not because it's gone, but because it's somewhere else now, somewhere we can't see, not yet. Others imagine advanced civilizations harnessing galaxies, turning out their lights to avoid detection. Or maybe, just maybe, there's a pattern here we haven't learned to see, a rhythm behind the missing, a signal in the vanishing. So tonight, as you float between dreams, know that even what's gone leaves behind an echo, and sometimes the silence speaks louder than the stars. Part 3. The Shadows Between the Stars. Welcome back. You're calm now, breathing slow, moving gently through the quiet dark. Let's keep going. The universe we see is only part of what exists. The stars shine bright. But between them, there is space. And in that space, there are shadows. Not evil, not threatening, just unknown. Some believe these missing galaxies haven't disappeared. They've simply fallen into those shadows, hidden by something we don't understand. Dark matter, dark energy, the invisible fabric that holds the cosmos together and yet refuses to be seen. Maybe these galaxies slipped behind a cosmic curtain, one stitched with threads of physics we haven't named yet. Or maybe we're only allowed to see what we're meant to see. There could be entire structures, towers of starlight, civilizations so advanced they've cloaked their worlds in silence, not to hide in fear, but in wisdom, a choice to be unseen. And perhaps the galaxies that vanish aren't gone. They've just grown quiet, like someone stepping out of the room while still listening from behind the door. So tonight, as you float near the edge of sleep, let your mind drift through those shadows. They're not empty. They're full of stories we haven't learned to read. And just because we can't see something doesn't mean it isn't there. Part 4. Messages from the Vanishing. Welcome back. You're floating now, not through space, but through story, through possibility. Let's ask a different kind of question. What if the missing galaxies aren't random? What if they're sending a message? Disappearance as language, absence as signal, like blinking lights. But instead of Morse code, the cosmos speaks by going quiet. Imagine a pattern. Galaxies vanishing one by one, in sequence, across space, across time. What would it mean? A warning, a map, a countdown, or a test? To see if we're paying attention. Maybe the universe is asking, are you watching? Maybe it's trying to tell us something we haven't earned the right to understand. Not yet. Or maybe it's not about us at all. Maybe we are witnessing a natural rhythm. Galaxies collapse, not from death, but from transition. They fold inward, sink into other layers of space, slip through openings that only reveal themselves once every few million years. Openings we've just now begun to notice. So tonight, let yourself rest with that idea that even in disappearance, there may be intention, that what's lost might not be gone, just transformed, and that silence might not be empty, but filled with meaning we haven't yet grown quiet enough to hear. Part 5. What remains in the dark? Welcome back, dear listener. This is the last stretch, the quiet edge of the universe, where wonder hums like a distant star. Let's take one last look at the vanishing light. We often believe that seeing is knowing, that what disappears is lost. But maybe what remains in the dark is simply choosing a new form. Galaxies that vanish may not be erased. They may have changed frequency, shifted into a layer of reality we're not tuned into yet, a higher octave of space, a softer note of time, invisible to eyes but not to presence, not to soul. And maybe that's the point, that in this vast and endless cosmos, some truths aren't written in light, they're written in silence, in absence, in the aching beauty of what we can't explain. The missing galaxies invite us not to panic, but to wonder, to remember that we are small, but not insignificant, that even in mystery we are allowed to dream. So as you drift now into sleep, into stillness, into a deeper space inside you, know that the universe is still unfolding, still speaking, even when it's quiet, especially then. Good night, traveler. Sleep well beneath the stars you see, and the ones you no longer can, because the story continues. In the dark, and maybe that's where the most beautiful truths begin.